You are looking live at the Nasdaq daily chart, which showed a little more sellers in the market than we had hoped. There's a little follow through to the downside from that reversal candle on Friday, which has a lot of people spooked. But we've seen this candle before, where they, makes a new high, then reverses lower. And back here on this date, February 12th, made a new high at 16,080, and it couldn't handle the 16,000 level, and it pulled back near its 21. Rebounded a little bit, then pulled back again to the 21. And here we see another new high here above 16 again, and then it pulled back to the 10, made a nice little run, pull back to the 10, find support, makes another new high, now pulls back to the 21. Essentially, it's 0.5% above the 21. So will it find support there or around that area? It's not going to be exact. It's not usually exact, but will it find support around that area and bounce again, or is it just going to continue lower to the 50? And this is why I always make a notation of where the index is in relative to its moving averages. And you should do that with your stocks as well, because these moving averages act like little magnets. And if it does come down to the 50, which it's what, 3.2% above the 50, that's not the end of the world. That's pretty much normal. And I wouldn't like it, but we just take it day by day. Tomorrow it could bounce and make a new high soon, and we just take it one day at a time. So today, a little fall through, lighter volume, fall through to the downside, lighter volume. But the story was not the index. The story was there was just a lot of damage, a lot of weak stocks within the tape. What was propping the Nasdaq up was stocks like Apple. Looks like a little bottom fishing in some of these stocks that have just sold off maybe too much, so some investors coming in and not really with a lot of conviction here, a lot of low volume move for Apple, but that's the type of stuff that drives the index. Apple and Tesla, more bottom fishing in Tesla. Maybe this is making a low here at that 175 level. Google, this is up 2 point something, almost 2%. Pulled back to its 200. Now it's starting to show some strength. So definitely not as bad as Apple and Tesla, but still some bottom fishing there. Meta got slammed by some words from a former president calling it, same, some bad things about it. So anyway, jawboning this stock down. It was a little worse, 476 and closed at 483, so $7 off the low. So not bad, just a trip to the 21. So I think Meta's going to survive. Let me see here. Oh man, I got to get to Disney. Disney's looking good. We had this on our ready list a while ago because I had this 96.51, and now we've got to look at the bigger picture here, the bigger base here. This is a huge base. If market surge will cooperate here, this is a huge base from 210.23. So it's been, more than a year that it's been consolidating. This is acting like a handle now, this last 6 weeks or so, right here. So Disney looks good, so that may appear on our ready list. Anyway, I just wanted to go through some of those stocks. But as I mentioned, there was quite a bit of damage under the hood today. This is NVDA. It's down 2% today and followed through to the downside. Pretty similar candle to the Nasdaq, a little more severe on the low side, but still on the Friday closed to 9% of its daily range. Today followed through to the downside and really just came back to its 10 EMA, which is 845 today, and then bounced a little bit. I wouldn't call that a real strong bounce, but it bounced a little bit. There was some support there, so we're just gonna have to take it one day at a time, and if you got this stock at 500 and you rode this whole ride up, it's to me it's a lot easier to hold than if you bought it here at 800 and now you're hoping it to go to 1,000, then it reverses on you. That's a little tougher hold right there. But you got to do what you got to do, and if stocks correct and they form bases due to profit taking, a variety of reasons. But it's like the trolley going up the mountain, it's going to make some stops, let some people off, some people get on, then it stops again and let some people off, and people get on and it keeps going higher. But I don't know, there's a lot of people calling for a top in NVIDIA, but I just, I got to refer to SMCI, which a lot of people are calling a top here as well, at 1,077. And yeah, that was a nasty reversal here back in February 16th, and it followed through to the downside, as you can expect with a bar like that. But it survived, it found support, and then it made a new high here on Friday at 1,229. And now today it just comes back to that old high, which is pretty interesting, I think, because the old high coincides with, moving average. That's where it stopped, pretty much today, the old high, 1,078 and 1,080. But it coincides with, I believe it was the 8 EMA. What's the 10? Yeah, 10 is 034. I think the 8 was about I don't know, 075. I don't know. I'd have to change it. I don't feel like doing that. But the point is, it traded down to its 10 EMA, which is 1,034. The low today was 1,025. Found support there, and this one bounced a lot nicer than the Nasdaq. I mean, it closed at 1080. So from 1025 to 1080, that's a nice bounce, $55. Yeah. So but it's a volatile one. It's going to the S&P 500 and this weekend. So once again, if you bought down here, and it rode this up, that was a pretty hard hold right there. But if you bought here off this bounce here, you're still sitting pretty good. You're at the 890, 900 level. You're up still, a couple $100 there. So super micro is just going to be a volatile. You have to be a certain kind of person to hold on to that stock. It's really volatile. And if you believe in the AI thesis that this bull market is just starting, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit. And we're in the first innings, and you can sit through this, and this is just nothing, right? I mean, you're going to say, hey, super micro is just starting to grow. 5, 6, 8 years from now, this thing's going to be 10 times higher. If you're one of those people, then yeah, this is an easy hold. These are just blips on the radar. You're not even thinking about trading it. But if you're a trader, you don't want to lose money. You got to preserve your capital. Risk management is everything in this game. So there's nothing taken for granted. There's no free lunch in the stock market. So you got to do your due diligence, and you got to practice risk management. And if this thing comes down, this is a AMD with another one that just pulled back to its moving average here. So we'll see if these things find support at their moving averages. It looks okay now, but what's to say it can't slice the 10 and even the 21 and come back to the 50, back to that old buy area. So, you just got to be, you got to be vigilant and focused, and you got to have discipline here. I don't like losing money. I don't like sitting through downturns. I don't like giving back stuff that I've earned, over time. So I'm a little more quicker trigger at Broadcom. But if I listen to these earnings reports and read their transcripts, I mean, AI seems to be a big driver, and that's all they're talking about, these companies. We don't see it as retail, but in the enterprise, business to business, they're spending a lot of money. This is Broadcom, and it sliced its 21 last week following its earnings report, and it needs to find support here. I know it closed near the highs of its day, 80%, 87% of its daily range, but yeah, you got to protect capital, folks. This is this is not easy times here when the have had a big long run, and now if we correct again like we did last summer, it's going to be it's going to be tough. So you got to protect capital. We don't want to sit through that. I don't want to. Brinker International, this is one I was asked to look at because the retail restaurant stocks have been super strong, and this one broke out of a consolidation here and is trending higher. That's a nice little trend here for Brinker. I think they do Chili's, Maggiano's, chain restaurants. So Brinker Ticker symbol EAT. That one looks pretty good. I'm going to go to the Chipotle, which has been one of our stronger stocks. This one pulled back to its 21 as well. So with the Nasdaq down, slightly, a lot of these are, getting hit, and pulling back to moving averages. So, if they bounce, fine. But if they don't, then, then we have problems. This is CAVA. This is one of the more, I guess you could say, expensive stocks on the market. I mean, because you look at their market cap of over 7 billion, and they're only doing, like 600 million in sales. So yeah, but it's an IPO. Formed this base here, ripped higher, and we had it on our radar list, but I took it off. It's way extended, and a lot of the leaders are extended. Wingstop. And that's why the pullback is kind of expected. Whoa, I didn't even see this today. Wingstop slices 21, and this is the so I'm talking about preserving capital. You don't want to sit through that. I don't want to sit through that. I don't, 6% move. No, thank you. Adios, muchachos, because you can always buy it back. Then if it rips through the old high, then buy it back. But for now, I'm on the sidelines. Deckers, I have this on our radar list at 903. Yeah, buy point. Pulled back to its 10 today. It's doing nothing wrong, but ON Holdings, On Holdings reports in the morning, so that's going to be a driver of this stock. This one's going into the S&P 500 as well with SMCI over the weekend. Deckers, doing nothing wrong today. Went down 1%, just pulling back to a moving average. I mentioned ON, which is on our ready list. I actually bought this stock today because just small, because I like the chart. Couple things. I like the chart. I just read into the HOKA report from Deckers, and the HOKA was super strong. The Nordstrom CEO mentioned that the strong brands were HOKA and On Holdings. So I just took a shot, I like the shoes sector, and I like the chart, and I think they're gonna have a strong report. I have no idea, and I have no control over what happens with the report tomorrow. So I think they're gonna report strong, but the stock could still sell off. You don't know with earnings report. We've seen some really wonky reactions to strong earnings reports recently, so there's no guarantee. I just bought a small, there's some skin in the game. And the other one I like is CROX. CROX, formed this consolidation here and broke out following its earnings, pulled back to the 10, and now it's using that 10 as a guide here. So that one looks really good to me. Any more retail? Oh yeah, Abercrombie and Fitch. This one, oh boy, it slices 21. This is what I'm talking about here with risk management here. Down 4 days in a row after this massive run, from this consolidation. So I say I'm always looking for bases because you get extended, you can only go so far, right? And then pretty soon the profit takers come in and they get off the bus, right? And they're definitely getting off the bus on Abercrombie and Fitch. So we're looking for this to form some sort of base or some sort of area for to buy, but definitely not yet. I will say I got to take a look at the weekly. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough right there. That's the 10-week line. It's already down to its 10-week line, and it looks a little bit like ELF. When ELF sold off, ELF had this big run, and then all of a sudden, look at ELF, got up to 139, just sold off like every day for weeks and weeks here until it finally made this bottom at 95, then had a double bottom essentially there at 88. So these things can sell off for a while, but this is a 4-month base for ELF. Back last summer, September, October, November, before it started running again. ELF today pulled back to its 21. So yeah, these stocks they need rest sometimes. When they run, all runners need a break, right? They need a breather. So anyway, that's it for the retail, restaurant, retail, shoes. I got to go to the software names. Just a couple random names. VRNS. This one is still holding up well. We'll see what happens with the Oracle report tonight. I don't know what, it seemed to be pretty good, and it might hold up the software. But Elastic, this one sold off once again, just going down, 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 no support. Snowflake, it's just cannot find a bottom here. And so this is what I'm saying. These are warning signs, man. You don't want to sit through that. I know that was an earnings report and so was Elastic, but once they start breaking moving averages, you got to protect capital. I can't say that enough. Um, don't let your hard-earned dollars get away from you. This is Commvault Systems, and it's pulled back to its 10 today. This one's been pretty strong. If the market was better, I was going to put this on my ready list, but the market's too weak, and I don't want to put software names on there. They look just bad. Duolingo, though, had a nice session today, and this one's starting to set up nicely. I mean, if the market would cooperate, maybe we'd put this one on, but it's just pretty tough right now since that reversal on Friday. So just gotta, be patient. Okay, oil and gas. I hate doing this, but I've got to do it. The oil and gas stocks are looking pretty good. This is Matador Resources, U.S. exploration company, and they bought a company recently. I don't know which one, but give them some more. I forget which one. I'm not going to talk out of school here, but anyway, I just like the chart setup. That's all, and obviously, showing strength here. While the Nasdaq's pulling back, these ones are looking pretty darn good. Permian Resources, another one, nice. These are long bases here that are set up and looking pretty good here. Fang, another strong one. This one actually broke out and is kind of leading these oil and gas exploration stocks. So that one looks good as well. And then there's Antero Midstream. This is an integrated stock, but once again, looking pretty good, up 2% here in this week tape today. So that one's on our list as well. Anyway, I just had to mention that. How about Chevron? Whenever I go to the oil, yeah, this is some bottom fishing here. Looks like it made that, low, retested again, and now it's starting to do a little better. But this is a big battleship. Takes a long time for that thing to turn around. All right, I got to get to the Bitcoin, stuff because Bitcoin has been on fire. Coin had a nasty reversal today. You can see it was up a lot this morning. Started ramping, was up 270, then closed it 254. So that's a pretty rough break there. But it was just an inside day, I believe, because it had a big day on Friday. All right, so that's coin. Square, which is on our ready list. I like the looks of this one here. This has a Bitcoin, it's a Bitcoin related, has a Bitcoin component, and it's been up. You can see it formed this little consolidation, pulled back to a moving average and bounced, and still looks actionable to me. So, but one that does not. I'm going to give you the good, the bad. This is CLSK. Had this on our ready list last week for a bounce off the 21, and it bounced nicely. But today, that looks like the Nasdaq from Friday. Not really, though, because it didn't make a new high. But this is just a tough one to trade, to hold, man. It's just too wild for me. 16% move. No, thank you. I don't know. I just had to mention it. MicroStrategy. This is one that has been on fire, obviously broke out, and it's just ripping. Today it made a high of 1657, then pulled back, closed at 1484. So that's quite a reversal on that one. Let's see what that looks like on a 5-minute chart. Yeah, the roller coaster. Oh, no, sorry. Anyway, it still was up, 4%. We'll take that any day. So the Bitcoin stocks are super strong. Also, I got to mention the medical stocks. Some of these medical stocks are looking pretty good. Dexcom, this was just kind of, it was down 1.6% today, but just kind of flattening out here. This is a nice long consolidation pattern here that I like in Dexcom. S-Wave, and this one's starting to make some noise here now that it's above its moving averages. Pulled back to its 21 and found support. It was up 2% today. Lantheus, this is an oldie but goodie. Still below the 200 here, in between the 50 and the 200, but it showed some strength today in a pretty weak tape. The Nasdaq didn't show up, but there was a lot of damage today. In the index is underneath the index, I should say. All right, anything else? Oh yeah, Intuitive Surgical, another one of these medical stocks. Sliced its 21. That does not look good. So that's what I'm talking about. This damage here. some of these stocks, like I showed you Wingstop, now Intuitive Surgical. Hims looking good, right? Come on, Hims, yeah, broke out and now still pull back to the 10 and way above its moving averages here. 7% above its moving average. And General Electric Healthcare. General Electric didn't fare so well today. How did the healthcare? Yeah, not bad. Less than 1%. Just kind of flattening out here. If you look at the weekly, that one looks fine as well. All right, I got to get to the drug stocks. I'm a little perplexed. Novo Nordisk, the CEO said they added 5 million patients last year for obesity, weight loss, and they couldn't take on any more. And that's the problem. We'll have to hear from them at their earnings call about how they're doing with their manufacturing. I'm sure they're selling everything they can make, but with that news that they had, I would think it would have really bolstered the stock. But like I said, they're already selling everything that they can make. Lilly, same kind of story with the weight loss, but this one sliced its 21 today. That one looks bad. I sold my Lilly. I don't like that. Sorry. They got rejected on their Alzheimer's drug. And so Novo, I hold, Lilly is gone by the wayside. That's the way it goes. What was the other one? Oh, yeah. So if Novo couldn't move on good news and Viking is just slicing its moving averages like crazy and going lower and lower. And this one's going to move with data, but you can't hold on and wait for the data. I mean, this is like a hot potato, man. You gotta toss it to somebody else. Down 11% today. Made this high on their data of they have a really good drug, but they can't bring it to market. They had a secondary offering and they raised cash, but now they're gonna before the end of the month they're gonna have another readout for another drug. I think they got 4 in the pipeline, so it'll probably spike with a new data report. But who wants to wait for that? I mean, and eventually someone's going to buy it out. But the Novo report really hurt this stock because it puts pressure on Viking to have better data. And the one that I really like is Aquestive. I know it's a $4 stock or $5 stock, but there was insider buying here from quite a few directors and the CEO. And they're going to have a readout, or no, wait a minute. They're not going to have a readout. They're going to have an FDA news by the end of the month and probably by the end of next week. So we're going to have to see what they say. But insider buying, insiders only buy for one reason. They think their stock is going higher. So that's it for that. No, excuse me. I've got to go to Moderna, everybody's favorite vaccine stock. This one looks like it's I'm trying to be non-biased here, folks. This is trying to break out of a stage 1 base after a long consolidation. This one had a climax top, classic climax top back in August of 2021, and it's just been selling off. Formed a base here. What did it do? Sell off. Now it's trying to form this base here. We'll see what happens. I got to admit, it does look like a nice base, but where's the growth here, man? These guys are going backwards. So anyway, I'm not going to put this on our ready list. I'm not comfortable with this stock at these levels because it's shown the ability to make a base and then fall, so I don't want to risk it. There's better stocks to look at. Anyway, speaking of better stocks to look at, the insurance names, this is Arch Capital. Made this nice consolidation. The insurance stocks have been strong. They're giving you some growth here anyway. 29% sales growth, 16% EPS growth. That gives me a chance to go to the the market surge estimates here. So they're estimating double-digit sales growth here. So that's pretty good. Double digits, we'll take it. This is a slower mover. This is not NVDA or Supermicro. So it had a nice day today, and you can see it just surfing its 10 EMA. So yeah, it was up 3% today. So that's a nice day, I would say. So Gallagher is another insurance company. We had this one on our ready list recently. I took it off. It's starting to get a little stretched here, but like I said, these are slower movers. These are not the NVIDIAs or Supermicros of the world, but still looking pretty good. When I go to insurance, I got to go to my bro, And this one's broke out, and then now it's just serving as moving averages, so that one looks good as well. Anyway, that's it for me today. Pretty much of a downer day for me. I mean, if you're holding NVIDIA, Supermicro, AMD, ELF, and Novo, you had a pretty crappy day. But it's okay. That's part of the deal. I'm not going to take too many of these. I'm going to protect capital and trim and do the prudent thing because I'm not a fool and just going to sit there and let these guys take my money from me. So I'm just going to wait for the week to evolve, see how these stocks, if they find support at their moving averages, great. If they don't, well, then they're going to force me to make a decision. And I'm okay sitting, going to cash and sitting out for a little bit. And if these things want to repair, they're awfully stretched. You got to admit that they've had big runs and they're awfully stretched. So, you just got to keep an open mind here. Like I said, I was going to honor the great Steve Jobs with one more thing, right? Because I don't want to lie today. So I'm not going to say I'm done. Oh man, Oracle. Wow, last time I saw this is 121. Now it's at 124.75. So they reported tonight. Very strong earnings report. They usually guide on their conference call. So you got to listen to the call for their guidance. I am not on the call. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they raised guidance or something. But this is definitely an AI component that Jensen Huang uh, he called them out on their conference call. Oracle, Dropbox, Box, God, Snowflake, quite a few. He named like 10 different companies that he thought were gold mines, and he's talking long term. He's not talking about, he's not day trading or anything like that. He's talking years. In the next few years, these are gold mines and are going to do really well. So, Oracle up nearly 10% after hours. That bodes well for the software and big tech tomorrow. We'll just see what transpires. So that's good for Oracle. They did beat, on top and bottom lines. I've got to listen to the call to find out, what transpired. And then ASAN is Asana, Dustin Moskovitz company, flat after hours. They beat on the top and bottom line, and their forward guidance was flat. It was in line. So Dustin will probably be buying more stocks tomorrow or something. So that's what he likes to do. Spend his money on his company. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can see this one's long consolidation here. Cannot get out of its way. Cannot get out of this stage one, base that it's been in forever and a day. Anyway, that's it for me. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. We got inflation data in the morning. Still a lot more earnings reports this week that I'm looking forward to. And I think these guys reported after hours. This one doesn't move much. Anyway, that's it for me at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up. Thank you for watching.